coming in. It's an unknown quantity like us casting CS. There's a lot of things that could go wrong, but hopefully a couple of things go right.
Yeah, we've got some wild cards in the server, wild cards on the casting deck, and Scream wearing a Fnatic jersey. It's all topsy-turvy.
It feels weird.
It is. This is weird. I haven't. Gosh, this has been a while. We're rolling back the years here, Lauren, and I'm so grateful to be able to jump in and do this again.
I was about to say, and the best thing for me is, right, casting with you, you somehow get the jammiest best games, right?
Yeah,
once
maybe
it
not
gets
this
to
one.
not this one, but once you get to arenas, somehow he always manages to like sneak the best game of the event, and it breaks all of our hearts who've been like, you know, grinding away through the groups, and then there's Alex just turns up and he gets an absolute belter. You know, what was it? Stop blowing my mind.
Yes, I mean that was like when they go, okay, Alex, so you can maybe cast one game. I think we need you to do this one, and it's always just happens to be
just
some mad Counter-Strike. But it doesn't look like we're not quite live just yet. Can be waiting for this one to kick off. But just to kind of echo some of the sentiments from the desk, this mousesports roster was designed to start lifting trophies. They were not happy being that bridesmaid and being that podium finish. It wasn't enough for them.
And there were moments where you started to see it really getting closer to that point. You could see them kind of pushing towards the pinnacle that you kind of thought could have something happen, and then it disintegrated.
Yeah, right. And I think that they started pointing fingers at perhaps their lowest fragger. They probably look at the stats and they see that Sticko wasn't necessarily fragging as much as the others, but they don't quite necessarily translate directly into results, and frags aren't everything. As it does look like we're underway.
I'm just eyes on Scream here. I think Duncan said it very well. If he can find his place in this and frag out and feel comfortable and somehow do something, we could have a game on our hands. But I feel that is a big question mark if it's going to happen. And JW, though, maybe getting a little bit of fire beneath him, going to find the first kill of the tournament.
Okay, so taking a look at how they're going to be approaching this pistol round. Fnatic rather loosey-goosey. Draken just showing face in middle, trying to get some utility out of the CTs. None present, though, as it's just going to be the kit for Snacks and Kevlar for the rest. They are starting to group up. Nothing really for this execute. One flashbang, perhaps, towards that long or short.
The CTs have read this through and through. However, JW sitting on Speedway already. There could be a lot of pressure towards Snacks, as they are already taken over CT Arch. Chris J spots it all. Calls can be made. There's two players, one towards Cypher. They're just being beaten by straight-up aim duels here. Fnatic are just kind of pushing their way forward. mousesports had all four players in pretty much the right place, but it doesn't tend to matter if Fnatic do just bang out those shots.
Last real chance saloon for Chris J. He's taken one, and I think that will be all he's going to be gifted in this round. The pressure is on, and Scream will get himself the last frag. It looks like a nice even distribution. Everyone gets one, and we're going to be seeing Fnatic take the first round. Nothing particularly outrageous from them there. It was more of a case of 5 people per short, or rather long, and the flashbang just to make things a little easier.
Draken's gun.
Okay, so it is in the game now.
That wasn't allowed at the major, right?
No. So we're going to get to see
Can we just watch it?
Is this legit?
Can we just watch it? I just want to hear what it sounds like.
I saw them using it in the warm-up, but we actually get MP5 action.
I'm excited for this because, we haven't seen it yet. I mean, there are a lot of rifles up there as a UMP as well. This is a big purchase for Fnatic. They've gone all in. But I'm just excited to see a brand new gun in there. Look, it just slaps it down.
It is, yeah. You spank it, don't you, on the reload.
Alex, it's early, please.
Let's find out how it works out. Yeah, so with mousesports, they're being relatively respectful. A couple of people keeping that Kevlar by just to make sure the AWPs are there for the first buy. Instead, though, Fnatic just going to go set themselves up for the default, looking to catch any early CT aggression. Nothing being given just yet, though.
You're still got to be careful with those Deagles and P250s, 5.7s, a bit of armor on Rops as well. I mean, there's enough to make it at least competitive to a degree. When you start running out of time, when you start work down to those like 20-second hits and it gets a bit uncomfortable, okay, it can happen. But for now, you can see so much control already building for Fnatic. They're having a little look, but it looks like late CT control, and we all get... Oh, that sounds so cool. It's like a...
Oh, he finds the head of Snacks. The MP5 draws first blood here in round 2 of our first game for ESL 1 New York. Draken found his first. Will he find a second? There's certainly some pressure towards Banana. No one necessarily providing support. They don't need to, and I do like that Rops is still being the spearhead of the 5.7 project. He's trying to keep the 5.7 alive, and he's been doing good work with it in the past. Crims is going to get the first then onto Chris J. It's starting to be pressured. He gets one. He looks for a second as well. Good damage. Halves the health of Scream and Crims. In the meantime, JW bursts out of apps. The bomb isn't there, though, and that's just going to leave Oscar in a real orky situation. He's just got to be. He's finally, taking his running shoes off after a good sprint, and there's no one to be seen.
No, Oscar, he'll know this now. Of course, he's got himself there. If he could maybe find something out of this, he'd be very happy. He's got himself a UMP, I guess that's something. But Scream is waiting, and this could be the day. I was going to say debut for Scream, start banging out people, but no. Oscar's still alive, of course. And he's upgraded. He's got himself an AK now. That's very, very nice for him. And
JW.
damage, too. Careful, JW here. Oscar's, he's a little wily right now.
He just wants to take as many weapons away. Of course, no Kevlar, so he's not really willing for a straight one-on-one. He was happy to take a couple of shots through the smoke. Anything more than that is not going to be his cup of tea. So Crims is on the hunt with his AK. They are low.
Oh, I'd love a cup of tea, though.
Oh, me too.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. I've recently been converted to Earl Grey.
I don't like it.
No,
that
I know
much.
it's an old person drink. It does. It's got
a bit
flavour.
too fruity.
It's a fruity
got that,
tea. It is a fruity
got that perfume to it.
Earl Grey. Hashtag Earl Grey. Let me know.
I'm happy with any tea if you do fancy it, but 2 on the board for Fnatic.
Yep, nice and easy for them. They just kind of pick apart those under-equipped CTs, and we'll be seeing the second, looking for the conversion here, but there is that little curveball of Oscar's AK-47. He buys armor to support it. This was that MP5 frag. Getting
It's
to see it in
accurate.
action, it is, while moving.
I mean, they put the Call of Duty casters on here. They might as well
We're
try.
ready to go, yeah.
Help us out, boys.
We'll be jumping around corners in a minute.
Oh, don't. It's like what we've had the Tech 9. It feels like any gun they implement for like first bit of time, we do have them asking for reports. So you are seeing people being a little late to this.
It looks like it's a tech,
technical
yeah.
as well. So that could take a second, but it does feel as though whenever, Valve decide to pay us attention, which is rare, when they do implement the guns, they've always been a bit like, ooh, the CZ Tech 9.
But fun fact for you.
Oh, hit me.
I think, and this from what I understand, the MP7 was actually everything the MP5. It was its spray pattern, its recoil, its bullet damage was the MP5. They just gave it a different name, different body, and different model rather. And now they put the MP5 in, which I imagine is a completely different gun. It's not like it's going to act the same way. If you wanted a gun that acted like the MP5 of old, then the MP7 was that. So this is a brand new spicy meatball for us to play with.
Do you
Who plays with their meatballs? Yeah,
say,
no,
Alex,
actually.
Do you often play with your spicy meatballs?
Yeah, not often.
Oh.
Typically eat them.
Typically, but there's always that Sunday. Right?
Yeah, they say you shouldn't play with your food though. So maybe he won't be playing with that MP5 for too long. Looks like they are ready, and we'll be jumping back into this one. Scream is wearing a Fnatic jersey, Lauren.
It's uncomfortable.
Crims, JW, Scream.
Do you know what? If you roll back the years and you think just like firepower alone, you've got like JW. Imagine like you still have flusha. Like there's so many like scary factors in that team. I think that's what the desk was kind of like leading towards, is that if something just they just feel out the game, you start to just hit your shots, and Scream comes in and he feels comfortable in whatever role he's given. It's kind of a fun prospect, right?
Sure.
It's like there's that roll the dice element that if everything lines up and you get that high roll on it, you're kind of laughing. You've got some big heavy hitters, but it's pretty unlikely. But I mean, they're 2-0 up. It's been clean so far. Again, though, a long game ahead of them.
And Oscar's making the AK work.
Yeah, that's a big factor. Finding the first kill, backing away, barely taking damage. He didn't fall that far back, though. He's still up for the fight, and Fnatic just delete him.
Yeah, and Draken's only rocking the USP. Interesting, he thinks that firepower from the rifles will be plenty enough, so he can keep the cash in his back pocket for now. Not forgetting there is now an MP5 just sitting in Banana if he chooses to scavenge that away. He's currently making his way there now with the bomb on his back. JW is doing his typical lurking activities. You'll see the three of them grouping towards B. JW's going to be trying to keep the CTs busy on A, at least catch them on that rotate, likely heading towards CT Arch in just a moment. They take their moment as well, though. They've got the nades, and of course nothing present for the CTs. This should be an open and shut case, but they have stacked, I was going to say, in the right location. Chris J is getting antsy.
Yeah, I think JW's starting to show a bit of presence and keeping Chris J on his toes. You can see the utility being put to play, so it just ensures that they're keeping themselves at least unsure as to completely where the hit is, and it does seem as though now the B hit's coming in.
Chris J works it out though. That smoke did nothing.
No, it didn't find its purpose. Rops is still there, but it doesn't really matter. Chris J snacks it. Sunny did find one, but it's too little too late. JW with the triple, and the site is all his.
Yeah, easy peasy. Rops has got nothing, just a P250. Hopefully, in a dream world, he takes an AK out of this fight, but it's unlikely. Trying to do some financial damage, perhaps keep them on the site a little too long. Those are his dream scenarios. Not likely at all. He hasn't actually found a frag just yet. Did you see Rops' player profile from the major?
Yeah.
Gosh, it was a fantastic insight into a player we didn't know much about prior to that. You knew of his FPL stars, but this guy has a work ethic like nothing else. I mean, I don't know how he's doing school and Counter-Strike simultaneously, and his school are accommodating for it. I think that's so cool. That's
amazing.
Like the headmaster. Imagine 10 years ago, a headmaster understanding it, processing it, and sending your schoolwork that you can do in hotel rooms around the world while you live your dream. I mean, it's
pretty
nuts.
amazing. And again, this is why a lot of people enjoyed the prospect, the idea of what mousesports was. It was these young, talented players. We actually just had the delivery of tea as well.
I mean, I'm down with this. This is great.
Oh, and there's sugar.
I'm sweet enough. You can have some if you want. There you go.
I'm salty.
So they convert. We got the 3, and now it is time to see a full weapon
Battle
round.
of the Orbs.
Yeah, interestingly enough, in the hands of Chris J, he does tend to like to take it towards that aggressive B angle early, and he's doing just that.
I really like what Chad said on the desk there about Train coming in as a pure, like, we believe we are better than you in certain aspects, so we're going to try and push that. And I think we'll see if he can get a nice early start here, feeling out what he can do with that, or maybe put that into play quite nicely. It looks a little bit more quick from Fnatic as well, straight up middle. Got JW already working his way through apps. He's quite fast here. This looks like a rollback. There he is, the flash up mid, the quick hit, but there's 3 players in their way, 2 to sight and 1 in pit.
Draken starting this assault. He's going to be the first in. The flashbang, then Oscar doing the dance. He dies. Looking for Sunny, though, in the corner. It will just be 1, 2. They're not looking. Surely not a third. Sunny single-handedly rips this assault apart. Exist and JW not backing out just yet, though. Snacks and Chris J, they have the HP advantage, but that bomb is loose. And as soon as that smoke does dissipate, if it's not retrieved, that's going to make things problematic. I tell a lie. Looks like they're going to be throwing out a second smoke, refreshing it, giving them a bit more time. But there is a gap. Snacks to exploit that. Chris J has an angle on it as well. Things just hit a standstill from chaos to silence as they both just hit the brakes. And he's not going around the world, is he? Bomb is on A. JW's heading towards Banana. He's going for it. He's going all the way around. Exist just has to keep them busy, keep them interested. As JW gets his Nikes on, he's going for a jog.
Time, though. This is really
seconds.
tough. Because look at Snacks being so awkward about this. He's going to put himself probably just to wait for plant if it does go that far, or try and support in like a more passive way. Surely Snacks is now calling, I've not seen him at all. JW now, let's see what he can do. Chris J surely is understanding this because the call's been made because Snacks just got so far through the apartments. JW needs to land just the perfect shot. And what is that turn from Chris J? Exist now has no options left, and there is Snacks. I like the theory, but the execution, and let's roll back the time. Who doesn't check on that spot? I feel like that's, again, the communication coming through, these issues showing if Sunny's able to get away with that.
I mean, yeah, so Draken's first in the site. He does see Oscar, admittedly, and that's going to distract him.
Absolutely.
But the second thought should be, I haven't checked this corner. His teammates didn't either, and Sunny able to exploit that. That does bring home the first round for mousesports, and that's going to keep things cushy for now.
We do see the orbs come out, and Draken to me is such an interesting storyline. I remember the tweet, it feels bad when people don't believe in you.
Yeah.
Now, whether that was to teammates, audience, opponents, doesn't matter. It's going to be
all of the above.
Yeah, mentality-wise, that is interesting. If the roster change might help him to a degree, feel a little bit less of that pressure, because flusha did say in the statement, you know, he was behaving in a way he didn't like. Just checking on the settings.
Want to be optimal here.
Get that DPI right, and Chris J seemingly has.
Speak of the devil, Draken down, that orb gone, and his funds too. Now Scream, getting to see him back in a Tier 1 event. It's been a while since we got to see this Belgian bulldozer with what many would consider aim like no one else. It's not going to get him far in this round because Chris J single-handedly locking down B. Just 3 remain for Fnatic. They haven't really done too much as a unit. This has been one by one, single file, strolling into the crosshair of Chris J. The second frag, especially from Scream, he has to know that there will be a re-aggression. Perhaps the flashbang didn't need it this time. And it didn't get Fnatic too much ground. In fact, no ground gathered from them whatsoever. Sure, they have Banana, but it's not going to be without a price. Oscar catches JW, another one-man push from Fnatic, and every single one of them has been punished. And now the crawl from Sunny will find his 6th frag. It's all on Crims. He has recovered the AWP, but I don't think he'll have it in his hands for too long. And that's Sunny with a dancing USB to wrap it up. And the double AWPs are coming out. This is actually starting to look rather scary. Oscar and Chris J.
That was a telling round then, wasn't it? That one-by-one approach, that one-by-one falling. You know, it was quite fun for the first few rounds, looking like, oh, Fnatic, you know, they've got the firepower, they're looking kind of cool there, that's nice, but it's like, ooh, do they, when the guns come out, when all the utilities there, is there still that room? Now, obviously, mousesports are certainly not in the most perfect position by any margin, considering their performance at the Major. That was a very underwhelming, I guess, position, but nade stacked down middle, no one there to fully receive it, Exist gets some of it, but it is going to be a bit of a, obviously, cheaper round this time, but I'm looking forward to seeing if mousesports can just be the dominant side here.
So Exist is going to be throwing a flashbang up for this 4, trying to force Oscar out the angle. The flash does nothing. Oscar just a little bit tagged up. He is going to get away at least for a moment. The Glock, though, will mow him down, trying to retrieve that AWP safely. I don't know how safe it will be because Snacks is there. He's got the first and looks to back away. Keep that AK safe. This is chaos now from Fnatic. They could consider a wrap, but they're actually getting pincered in. Rops from Library, Snacks hanging out towards Arch, and it will be Draken's USP that finds Rops. Of all the rounds, this could not be more Fnatic. It's an on-brand round from them. Nothing in their arsenal. Now they've come away with an AWP, an M4, and time.
This gets horrible. Now, mousesports need to kind of just put their foot down on this and maybe just fall back to site, or because they're in that awkward position, aren't they, Fnatic? It's like they could go kind of anywhere, and we can't have full people meeting it. So you have Snacks going back towards Ruins. Chris J is trying to watch a bit of a cheeky angle, quite tight on the angle. I don't see him being outdone, but
into this. Info.
Spots it out. Yeah, information gathered. 38 seconds still. And we do have those two guns, so they've made their mind up, it seems, at least for now, that Snacks and B are going to be the destination of choice. Now, Snacks has a nice little off angle. Again, they're going to have to fully commit. Chris J reading it well. They feel safe in the fact that Sunny can control the other side, and that's enough to get the call going. Snacks now under pressure, spots one. Good shot from Chris J. It felt like he aimed for one and got the other, but gets the job done regardless, as Crim's now left in a 1v3, surrounded. And swing and a miss.
Nice restraint from mousesports as well. Notice how Snacks gets the first and then just starts immediately switches to that smoke grenade. They realize that they have the weaponry and the time on their side. Crims realizes that that round is said and done, and they're even going to be surely not 3 yet. Okay, up to get to an AK as well. So an AK and 2 orbs still for mousesports.
I just like seeing discipline. It's easy to get caught up in those situations. You've lost 2 players. You just want to dive in and get it. Get it.
Finish it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, you know that Fnatic can punish that. We just saw them. The double dink coming out from that USP was just filth.
Yeah, Robs is...
That opened up so much.
He's going to be letting out a long, drawn-out sigh as he get double dinked by USP. Draken was the man behind that magic. And so we see a 4-1 split from the CTs. Likely just to stack up some utility here on Banana, anticipating some early presence there from Fnatic. And I think Sunny's going to be making his way straight back to Ace, due to the fact that he can kind of gamble that for free. Fnatic haven't done anything fast, or perhaps they don't necessarily have the coordination required to do anything fast and intimidating that would overwhelm Rops early, especially because he's such a turret from that pit position. Yet to be tested, but yeah, they get away with it, and now back to a 3-2 split.
Yeah, I feel like once these double orbs came out, it's going to be one of those situations very hard to get past if you're playing Puggy. Yeah, there's very little room for individual plays to be made that can crack open these sites and you can just kind of spiral off the back. I don't think they're going to be given that. And you're hoping that one of these players has that big performance to create those chances. Banana control is being worked on, though. That's a minute gone towards it. But they've got there. They've got at least top of Banana, but they don't have much beyond that. They've not really pushed anyone further back. You've still got Oscar on patrol towards that CT arch side, so he's keeping tabs on the thinnest of angles. And Fnatic down to the last smokes and 1 flash, so that's what's it is going to have to be the hit here. Whatever they come up with in the next couple of seconds, they're going to have to commit towards. And for now, it does look like they are considering B still.
mousesports have got so much utility, though. That smoke grenade's keeping them locked out to about the 30-second mark, and there's still, what, 3 Molotovs, 2 smoke grenades, and plenty of flashbangs to keep them at bay. Here comes the assault towards B, though. That's the Molotov we were talking about. Chris J is going to be luring out everything he can. The pressure's good, though, and they're into the smoke. Snacks has already found 1. More pressure being applied, and it's going to be relieved just a little bit. Crims takes the head off Chris. That's the AWP gone. 4-4, as the site is Fnatic. The smoke locks them out. And it's either going to be bullets into that coffin. It does connect just a little bit. Exist wounded, but he'll back away. And it will be a 4v4 retake for mousesports here.
Okay, well this gets more fun. You've got Fnatic with numbers in position, AWP in JW's hand, and B retakes are not fun. And you're seeing why. Scream comes into his own with 2. That's a lockdown already. The response is a little bit too late potentially here. I do not see a kid on either of these players picking one up onto Sunny, but that AWP looks like it's a recovery mission, and he's going to try and back away with that in hand.
Impressive stuff from Fnatic. They managed to break through despite the presence of utility. They just go all ball to the wall, and it works out. That'll be the 4th for Fnatic. Now the question here is, can they convert this? Otherwise, this could be that financial ruin. Fnatic, they break through, a nice aggressive B hit, but they have to convert. They have to get the second here to just stabilize just a little bit. It was Crims. Look at this angle from him, straight on the boxes. He managed to catch Chris J, and it was Scream's double. Let's see where that second came from. Oof, nice little transfer. Nearly catching the third. There was one just around the corner as well. He anticipated it with the wallbang. And so, 4 for Fnatic, 3 for mousesports, as we're jumping into round 8. Double AWPs again, not forgetting there is just a little bit of a financial problem for mousesports. It'll just be the UMP for Snacks. He's sacrificed the upgrade in favor of utility. Let's see where this one takes us. Things taking a bit more of a slowdown once again.
So I just want to see fun here. I want to see an explosive game. I want all of those prospects that are discussed on the desk to actually happen now.
He said it would be a mess. Let's find out.
Who doesn't love a good hot mess? And it looks like Banana is going to be that. Molotov already down, but Chris J walks out with the fight, but he gets pushed off the angle. He might go for a little bit of a double dip here, which could be potentially dangerous if Scream is starting to feel like he's got that hot hand in the game after that double. Maybe he's starting to feel confident in this. Going to create a big chance for them to start with.
Yeah, but all they're going to do now is they know that that sets the CTs in motion. They're going to have to reposition, and there's actually Oscar who accommodates for the loss of Chris J. So that's the other AWP now gone towards B. Bomb does seem to be setting its sights towards A, in the grasp of Scream. It's going to be Sunny first to receive towards middle. Whether he chooses to go wide, it's an aggressive angle, and there is pressure from Boiler. Crims profits. 4v3 then. 5, excuse me. Fnatic yet to lose a man.
Sick positioning from Crims, punishing him, trying to back away after finding the information. Rops is very much alone, isolated on this site. He's got Oscar on the way, who does get to Library in time to at least provide some sort of help for Rops. But, oh, this is a lot of players, and it's a lot of people to handle. Rops can't deal with the pressure coming in from Fnatic, and Scream, again, the bulldozer going forward at this point. Not known for that name, but he is just powering forward. It feels like this went, all right, let's take the, the chain off, take the lead off, and just send him in and do what you can.
Dude, he's been kind of locked in his bedroom, playing FPL, streaming. He's just happy to be here, and he's going to try and, he's putting himself in the shop window right now, right? Nice shot from Oscar, though. It doesn't achieve too much. He's just going to fall following that one, but a nice quick flick onto Draken to get themselves the 5th for Fnatic. That was what we were talking about. They had to convert it, and that will break mousesports. Their buy is likely to be light, if any. And that should start the lead, start to accrue quite the few rounds. This was Scream onto Chris J. He didn't get caught out. Previously, he was caught crouching behind the boxes. This time, he's on top of them. And the time it takes for him to adjust was just a little too long for Chris J. Took the AWP out early, and that was really the start of the end for that round. It was nice and quick seeing the CTs accommodate, and that just gave them a huge advantage as they regrouped towards A. Yeah, look, so we said it was going to be a light buy. I think they're going to take a time out to talk about this. What do you think of Scream's samurai haircut?
Actually, it was pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie.
I remember talking to him. He was like, "Yeah, I'm trying to do trying to grow it out long." He had that short phase. I think it was in Marseille where he kind of looked like a wild man. Yeah. But now it's got long enough that it can
like
go
style
up.
To it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the aesthetic he has. You know what I mean? I feel like he's got a style, and he
like the Dragon Ball Z kind of thing.
Yes. I wasn't going to use the phrase of it, but I'm glad you did. You came in and you was like, Dragon Ball Z. Oh, yes. How's it feel casting again?
This is weird, yeah. You hear your voice a lot louder. I feel like it's very narcissistic. I can just listen to my own
You want
voice.
it louder? You just turn it up?
Down
you turned it up.
That's better.
Okay. You want more of your own voice back, right?
It's just good to be back. I'm hoping for some sexy Counter-Strike. So far, it's been rather bread and butter.
Bread and butter can be exciting if you're hungry, Alex.
It's true, and it depends on the butter as well.
Oh, you're right.
You know when the butter's like been in the fridge too long and it just shreds the bread?
Oh, you don't want that.
That's not okay.
You don't want
butter
that.
out of the fridge, everyone.
Like sometimes I'll try and heat the knife a little bit to try
Does
and
that
get
work?
it.
No.
It can if you...
I learned a cool trick at university where you stack up the
Nothing's
bread.
a cool
the
trick
slices,
from university.
The slices.
You're having a bread sandwich, aren't you?
When you butter the bread, you then stack the next slice of toast on top of it so that it melts the butter, and you have a stack of well-melted butter on the toast. Moving into the Counter-Strike, realizing for my debut after years, I'm talking about toast.
This is an exciting topic. I told you recently how I put too much Marmite on my toast.
You did, and you used a toasty machine, which is...
Don't out me
Marmite
like this.
does not
Don't
belong
come for me
in a
like
toasty
this.
machine.
All right, smoke's going out towards quad, so information being taken away from the very lacking side of mousesports currently with that purchase. 5-7s galore and some USPSs.
Yeah, just a bit of kev. Usps. So Sunny's got the most frags from mousesports. In fact, he's still rocking the double digits. 10 frags leading the server, and still 0 from Rops, the Estonian wonder child, yet to find his first frag. I do hear a little dink into the brain of Crims. JW low as well, but that's really going to be it. It should be fine, and it is. Oscar and Sunny, though, they're doing damage. In fact, what? It's a 1v1. Snax got one as well. We didn't quite get to catch all of that and how it transpired, but Snax is in a real dire situation here. Bombed out. Scream's going to try and go for some early aggression. Snax is just running out of options and bullets. 5 left in the chamber. He's going for it. No HP. 15. He has to hit 2 double dinks without taking a single bullet. It should not be possible, and it isn't. Scream will end him. Switches to a sidearm of his own and even recovers the AWP.
That's pretty cool from Scream.
Yeah,
just runs out of the glove.
He knows the situation. He realizes if he starts, that reload was his death sentence. He couldn't do it. Switches to the Glock. He enables some mobile action. One bullet was all he needed, and all good in the hood. That was great from mousesports, though. They spent nothing. That was what, 2 Kevlar vests and a couple of 5.7s, probably about 2K total, and they managed to take it down to a 1v1. Long term, it's good stuff.
It's fun to see. This is what we said about that kind of explosive, messy-ish game. Oscar having a little peek. The Orps are actually being quite active this round. You can see them actively looking for starts into this. Contact made on Banana means that Oscar feels he's safe enough to be peeking from this side. Second mid takes a little bit of time to control your way through, which now you might become wary of. Tag goes in, he backs away. Crims already had success from this position earlier, so probably doesn't want to test his patience in that one, but still. We are seeing again, Fnatic just take him, you know, your default-ish map control, nothing too special.
Was that, there was like a little talk, a little whisper of a run boost there? Yeah. Perhaps accidental.
A murmur.
But this is it. They're going to be peeking into Chris J, and Draken punished again. He hasn't won that fight once since the AWP was in his palms, and now advantage to the defensive side. That does put things in Banana in rather standstill. Crim's continuing to try and draw fire, draw attention towards the middle area. That does get out the Molotov from Sunny as he backs away. Mission accomplished for now. They do look a little bit absent of direction. The fact that he's thinking of Molotovs, changing his mind, they start to group. This is what I think is going to get Fnatic across the line if they do so. Is going to be just very bare bones, grouping up, knowing your flight paths and going in as a group. Yeah, I think so too.
They're great players, so there's no disputing they can do this, but that smoke going in is going to be pretty tough for them. I'm pretty sure that's just gone up, so that's going to be a little bit of a detriment to this hit, but they're still committing, it looks like, with the Molotovs going in over the top. Chris J, the flash is decent, but the boost comes in possibly at the right time. Scream succeeds, though. Takes out Chris J, but it's not the boost that wins it. It's just Snax straight up battering 2 of them. And now it's JW all alone. A 1v4 is not looking so likely as he backs away with 8 seconds, picks up the AWP, puts it in his pocket, and he just wants to save that to the next one.
My goodness, Snax just got 2 swift frags. We were looking at the POV of that boost E. It was Sunny, actually, who got put up there and didn't have to do too much. Snax with a lot of heavy lifting, I should say. 8 frags for him total as we head into the 11th. And mousesports are starting to get a couple back-to-back of the row. This was the frag straight through the smoke. Look at this.
Oh, you got it.
They're not even headshots, Lauren. That's just raw rib cage pounding.
Pardon?
Don't know what that was, sorry. Yeah.
This is why we can't let you have more than like 5 minutes.
I need 5 minutes maximum on air, yeah. Before I start talking about toasties and rib cages.
Oh dear, help us. Yeah, no, I think we need to keep you limited.
Another MP5. Things are happening.
Draken's loving it.
He's trying to be the. He's trying to start something. You know, he wants to start something cool, new. Yeah, stick to casting for sure. Rops
stick to desk hosting. I mean, what are you doing? What are you coming and trying to flame?
I'll give it 15 minutes before you start talking about what level their backpack is. So
where we drop in, boys.
Let's focus on the Counter-Strike. Still
can't.
0 for Ropsy boy. Keep your eyes on him as it looks like we're jumping back in round 11. And that double AWP, it's been working well for mousesports.
The Dorp.
The Dorp. Oscar, I love when AWPs take it into apps. It doesn't read like a good AWP angle, but when you have got that quick flick, when you have got the reaction times of a player like Oscar, you can get away with it, and it just oh, they're coming to him. They're coming into Oscar's domain. Couple of warning shots. Oscar has to hold this tight line. He gets the first ahead of Draken. I feel like he's died first every single round. The spearhead of the Fnatic assault once again snapped.
I almost feel for him every round. He's not had a single real, easy, clean, successful moment. Everything's been met by some real brutal force. 9
deaths. He's died every single round.
Yeah, it doesn't feel great. The MP5, however, is over in Crim's hands, so I mean...
Let's find out how this one goes down. Oscar has relocated. Nice dynamic AWPing coming in from the primary AWPer from mousesports. I say that, on Inferno, it does seem like Chris J's been leading the pack for that one. Now, adjusting towards short. They've got a good read with their utility. They're keeping them at bay, but soon that will stop. JW now walking in, getting some 2015 flashbacks. Aggressive AWPing, trying to entry into the site. He's going to just try and keep pit locked down. The smoke will dissipate, and it's going to be Sunny. Splats JW. 5v3 now. Sunny Precise finds another exist with the CZ. Is going to be just a slight break for Fnatic as Oscar. What a round. Finds 3 at the end of that one. 2 in quick succession. We find 5 for mousesports. And now Fnatic, they look a little broken. They've got nothing to come into the 12th round.
There's just no fallback plan for them, is there? There's no like, okay, let's fall back to what we do in these situations. There's no like, structure there to instantly support them. It feels like if that initial, bit of play doesn't happen, they lose out on that entry kill, or they lose out on that initial trade, or something doesn't like instantly come through for them. They obviously don't have the depth to fall back too much, and it looks a little silent there with the Glocks around. They
got into a 1v1 last time.
That is true, but it's like you can't take away skill from them. Like, that's fine. Like, they're still a very talented side, but I just don't see them doing it this time.
You've got Sunny, right? That was mousesports with Sunny and Rops on the 5-7.
Sunny and Chris J working their way down Banana again. It looks like mousesports are starting to exude that control, which is nice to see. They're not just leaving it up in the air now. I don't see much happening this round, so again, this should be pretty clean.
And Chris J, because of Sunny's positioning, he can just go wide. He can be comfortable and confident for holding that deep line towards T-Ramp. And actually, talking of confidence, Sunny's walking all the way up. He's behind them. Oh, one shot into the head. 2 bullets, 2 kills. Precision from the Finn. And I think he's got a good read. I thought he was going to complete the set. Now Scream with the element of surprise. A double dink from the Glock does put the M4 in his hands, but that surely will be all from Fnatic this round. Now they can pressure up that AWP, and wow, Oscar so aggressive. He's happy to take the fight with the USP. It costs him his life eventually. That Scream is doing damage. 3 from him with just a Glock at the start of the round, and they managed to once again, I don't know what's happening here. Both mousesports and Fnatic are almost having more success when they're on the full ecos. That will be enough though for Fnatic to get them full AK buy coming in to round 13. And look at this, neat and tidy. Not enough of a reaction time from Crims. The call wasn't even made.
So crisp.
So aggressive.
Yeah.
Good read of the economy. They knew what was happening. They just didn't want to let any 5-man Glock trains arrive at the station.
Glock trains arrive at the station.
Yeah, I'm a mess. Nice from Chris J. It's aggressive. It's not enough.
That looked on.
It did. Through the fire and flames, it cost him 70 points of health, or 66 if you want to be that person.
It's when you like double check that you're actually 66. I was like, wait, 6 plus.
Yeah, 6 is first, so that makes it 40, 60.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Again, though, Fnatic do have banana control. Like, they're doing okay this time. That initial foray by Christian gets sent packing by the utility coming in. Nothing too fancy with it. Molotovs and nades up towards top banana. Like, it's still a scrappy battle. It's 6-6. And the curiosity begins when Fnatic CT side comes into question. Do they have that structure? Do they have that ability to play off each other and have that trust in the setup in place and be able to kind of retain control? It's going to be very tough, but it looks like a bit more of a bit of a hit coming in. I guess everyone knows somewhat of these smokes, but Sunny.
Mid-round aggression from Sunny has been spectacular. He's catching them out again, this time with weapons in their hands. It's 40 seconds in the round, and he only just now starts to take a glance through apps. JW's there, though. Sunny could catch JW off. He knows he's around, but he has already repositioned back into the site.
And you're baffled as well if you're Fnatic. You're looking on the map almost, you're thinking, all right, well, JW's in apartments, we're okay, but the timing on that worked out so well for Mouse. So a quick kill comes in, of course, and that does mean that now we do have the advantage. But to be fair, Fnatic have more players on the one side. Sunny and Rops are just dedicated towards the side itself, so this hit is going to be a bit trickier than maybe they'd like, but surely they check on the spot.
Checks the corner! No!
They've gotten away with the crossfire again!
Sunny and Rops, it's all Sunny really, as he gets the frag. Finally the corner's checked, but that is all in vain, and Fnatic, they fall to the same trick twice. Sunny has 23 frags. Are you ready for this? Rops has 21, I should correct myself, sorry. Sunny has 21, 1 for Rops. 2 of their hardest hitters of this roster. It could not be more of an extreme comparison. Rops was there, he was there for moral support.
Bloomin' hell. How have they gotten away with that? Twice now, and it's like, you can almost see it like being based, and it's like, I was there last time, so they're going to check it. I'll go to the position that supports that angle if they're not facing me.
Yeah, so Sunny takes first contact, they're like, okay, so Sunny's not in the corner.
Yeah, yeah. And then he's just like, here he comes. Just snakes his way out. It's pretty sick.
Nice Fnatic buy here. Just Deagles and Kevlar.
This has brought some close rounds, to be fair, for Fnatic. Like, they've had a couple of moments where they've looked pretty dangerous, so this time, danger being quelled early on by Oscar. Unless they burst towards top mid, which could be potentially happening, but the utility hindering that approach. This is nice from mousesports.
Yeah, Oscar, that was a quick flick. You replay that scenario, it's not every time he finds that. Now keeps things under lock and key for the CT side. Still 7-6, nice and level pegging so far. Fnatic, with what has been rather a simple yet effective approach, they've managed to get themselves 6. They're going to be looking to try and equalize here. Not much in the arsenal, but still they group up, and Oscar's done it again. He is just backing up. Now the pressure's on, though, towards Arch. Snacks his nade, providing support, and this round is over. Sunny finds his 23rd.
Yeah, the timing that time worked out so much nice for Oscar as well. He was able to back away. Last time he got completely swarmed. It became that awkward position where Fnatic had library control and speedway. But that time you could see him backing away perfectly, ready for it. He knew what was coming. He's already read that in his head, and he's like, all right, this time I've got you. Not gonna get away with it at the time. But I guess on face value, as scrappy as this game has been, the scoreline isn't too huge one side or the other, but I guess if you take into account Fnatic's early pistol run of things, you kind of put it back to scale. I think that's the main thing here. It's still been a strong matchup for mousesports. Yeah. They had that little bit of a streak where Fnatic had, just those scrappy rounds, but they all just kind of, hit B together. The smokes were on, they got in, and it worked for a couple. But, mousesports are still looking far more controlled than 3 orbs.
3 orbs? 3 orbs. Wow,
Trawps.
Okay, Trawp. So I imagine we're going to be seeing Chris J. He does tend to have an affinity. Actually, they're probably going to play on spawns. I was going to say Chris J is going to go B, but actually, it does look like. Are we seriously seeing 3 orbs go B? Chris J, Oscar,
he's juggling it forward.
Okay, he's juggling it forward. Makes more sense. Chris J again on the aggressive peak, doesn't lose so much health this time, and well, they're looking to try and keep banana control under lock and key. Still taking it passively though, and passive is not the word for JW. Already aggressive towards apps, forces Rops away without so much as a bullet fired. Aggression is once again present. Scream has been given the dirty jobs for Fnatic. He has been responsible for taking banana control every single round. He hasn't done a poor job of it, admittedly given for free most times. And they're lining up some nades here. Looks like they're going to go speed things up a little bit. Chris J on the re-aggress.
You feel there was a second there where that could have lined up a little bit more dangerously, but it looks like he wants to go quick with this, so maybe it's the right read. Putting that quick pressure on, maybe it's not the right read. Maybe Chris J will just bang you the hell out, and Snacks tries to re-aggress a little half-handedly, and he gets punished. And this is, again, it's those kind of rougher, more just kind of get in there and do the job you can hits that actually come down to these situations. It's a 3v2, and one of the 2 players playing this back in will be Oscar, who's gone off. Now, he's very good. Do not take that the wrong way, but these are some of the hardest situations for that AWP to work in on.
Yeah, he's in trouble. Rops, he's been very quiet this game. If he wants to retake this site last round, they'll go for it. It's kind of all on Rops. Going to take the predictable angle, and Draken, believe it or not, predicts it. So, Rops has to do something spectacular here. Great control from him, spraying into Draken to bring it to a 1v2. Now, pressure on time against him as well. He has nades, and he has the aim. Smoke going to be trying to make this a 1v1, but he didn't expect the boost. It's Crims up on the top towards Emo to bring an 8-7 half into fruition. mousesports with a very slight lead.
Again, not appalling by any margin. Pretty decent overall. I'm curious. I really am curious. Scream seems to excel in the chaos here.
Absolutely. We're going to be jumping into that second half shortly. And we're going to be checking in to see exactly how things do continue to shape up. I don't know. I think that pistol round is going to be the determining factor because Fnatic, they kind of need it. CT side with an absence of communication, at least, I mean, you've changed your language. Of course, they all speak English. They all play their FPL, but everything's going to feel a little different. And so they're going to want to check things out.
Well, I'm unsure. This is the thing. I'm really curious what happens between these two. I'm waiting to see if there is longevity to what we saw, or if Fnatic had that burst on the T side, which is, well, I guess we more expected that they have individuals. We saw Scream being great in the chaos there. They had some real moments for him to come into his own. Very exciting, tantalizing idea, but can you do it on the CT side? It always feels like that's where these kind of more kind of, I guess, quote-unquote, mixes or teams that have those, stand-in players will always feel the brunt of it. So we are going to be jumping back live, so do not worry. It's only a quick little turnaround on the half. So it will be nice and easy to come back in. And this is big. So if Fnatic win this, I think it's game back on. I think that gives them enough of a run to kind of keep, trying to just get ahead. But mousesports have a big utility investment here.
Okay, take a look at this one. Molotov, 2 smokes, 2 flashes for the T side. They've clearly got a game plan here. See how that 4-1 split from the CTs. Early aggression from Draken to get info. They've put the majority of their defensive forces towards A. Perhaps a read, perhaps a gamble. And the moment that bomb and the majority of their utility is just sitting T ramp. Chris J's got something lined up for us. Starting to just worm their way towards B. At least that's going to looks to be the target of their affection here. Lawrence, Sunny and Rob's positioned to catch any aggressive CT maneuvers from A. And it's going to be Scream first to be tested. That's
a whole lot of pressure. If they go for that and commit to it, there's no one even that close quickly on rotate. No one's on Speedway. It's a very committed to A. Obviously, Exist can get over there the fastest, but I mean, Scream will need to hinder them somehow. So his eyes need to be trained on this. He needs maybe 1, 2 clean headshots, and no one's reacting, no one's responding. Utility's been put up. He knows what's happening now. He's completely smoked off. He can't see a single thing here.
He's holding the angle. He's just going to start tapping. Here we go. Not going to connect, and now the site is theirs. That's brutal. They're all coming from Banana. Take a look at this, Lauren. All of the CTs have grouped up in one big clump. Sunny's going to have to do damage here, and already just get the information. He hears the steps. He knows what's coming. He's got Oscar to play off. Nice throw. Oh, there's a good throw. Oscar mows them down. Fnatic humiliated on Banana, and now Scream. He was the first to defend, and he's the last standing as this has gone from bad to worse. Oscar, one-man army, and quite the gamble from Fnatic, both at the start and the end of that one.
I love that, the bait. Sunny baiting in, basically, allowing Oscar to hold the different angle on it. That was so sick to watch, and now it's brutal if you're Fnatic, obviously, but that was so nice. So well played.
So Sunny did exactly what he had to, right? Showed presence, played it safe, tucks in.
And the angle plays so well.
They're all pre-aiming Sunny. Not now, of course, but that's Oscar. Nice crosshair placement. Manages to keep that Glock under wraps, and 3 headshots of the 4. What a spectacular way to pick up the pistol. That's going to make things difficult for Fnatic, but whoa, okay. The CZs are out. I mean, it is Fnatic CZ. You've seen the logo.
Not CZ?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm not American. I'm broken. I listen to too much of... Sadakist, you know, all the classics.
Just Matt. Not Jason. You obviously mute when he's on.
Yeah, sorry. Matt and Jason both say CZ. I've been corrupted, Lauren.
You have. I'm trying to bring. We've got you T.
CZ.
All right. We'll get it going. But what a statement from mousesports. That was so exciting to watch. Crimson Scream, though, having to deal with Chris J and Sunny if they do eventually make it up towards that position. But there's a little bit of utility with Fnatic. They're not going to make it completely easy. Those CZs, the armor, still playing a big factor into this round. Those angles can be locked down quite tightly, but you can see the bomb left in spawn from mousesports, so they're not particularly committing anywhere fast. Maybe just trying to get that utility away from the CT side, which thus far has been working quite nicely.
Yeah, Draken in limbo. Looks like he's going to start his rotate towards B and just bringing a little bit of extra utility to keep these Ts at bay. But bear in mind, mousesports are in no hurry. If they can just get rid of whatever nades have been bought by Fnatic, make sure they're going into an under-equipped CT side, which already is a guarantee, of course, just sidearms for them. Gap in the smoke. If Scream goes aggressive, that could be punished, but no. Sunny not too quick on the trigger. Instead, they start to group up towards A. There is a nice little bit of bait and switch coming out from mousesports. They're trying to keep the CTs guessing. They've left Chris J towards Arch. He's going to try and catch those CTs as they start their execute. And here's candidate number 1. Crimson's having absolutely none of it. Probably going to scavenge away that Mac 10. Hold it sideways for extra style points.
This is scary because JW's in a really good spot. Look at this! This is what we talk about with the timing. When it gets sub 10, 20 seconds, you start getting worried on the T side, even if they have the weaponry. And JW is just battering them. That's a strong backhand from him, and that is just devastating if you're mousesports. Where did the time go?
Yeah, I don't know. That clock just evaporated, and that is spectacular work. The clock becomes your worst enemy, especially when you're against those CZs. If you haven't... CZs. If you haven't left yourself enough time to check all of those ratty angles, I mean, JW's just timed this aggression so well. That frag onto Snacks was round winning, and you haven't got time to check all those corners. Ratty angles. God, my filter has been lost.
Yeah, I was about to say, wait, this is how it sounds playing with you. He's in a ratty angle.
It's me playing Counter-Strike right now.
Literally.
Another MP5. All right, JW's chosen to pull it out.
Come on, JW. I like it. Nice little kind of corridor to play it off. And it looks like the apartments are his again. You know, the infamy he used to have as well with that AWP. He used bound through, peek out of it and towards second mid. He's taken back his stomping grounds. And this looks like it should be 9-9. This is one of those brutal kind of just slogging matches. You know what I mean? There's no beauty to it as such. Don't get me wrong, it's exciting seeing JWCZ, but...
If Fnatic build up an economy now, that could be the swing round. That could be the round that lost mousesports Inferno. I mean, you got a little too excited.
Don't say these things.
I'm just saying that those are the rounds where you look back and realize that this game could have looked very different had you just played it a little. They kind of confused themselves a little too much. They were like faking B, using some utility, trying to draw out what was essentially 2 smokes. But still, here comes the assault screen, ready to receive. He's using the MP9, and he will just get one. Crims, though, is happy to be the turret at the back there towards the coffins, and that's just mowed them down. Just Rops, who will maybe, just maybe, get that bomb plant down if he's allowed. He's thinking about it, but no aggression from Draken. He's having absolutely none of that. No extra cash for you, sir, and gets the AK-47 as well.
Nice. Okay, so, well, I don't want to say win condition, but one of the conditions we said was Fnatic win the pistol. Now, didn't get the first, but they got the turnaround on the second.
It's almost better.
Yeah, and now you've completely screwed the money for mousesports for another run of things, so you get to really build up quite nicely here. If there's going to be an upset, if there's going to be something that kind of turns heads a little bit, it would be a result like this. And this is looking like it could potentially have that power to it. It's still very early days.
Well, the analyst desk considered it a coin toss, and I think there's a lot of merit to that, just because of the fact that both of these teams seem to be in a little bit of disarray. But the fact that Scream is fragging is one question that's been answered. Top of the scoreboard, he's doing a lot for his team. I think he's just happy to be here, and that sounds so patronizing. I don't mean it that way. I mean it in just the sense of, you know, finally I can compete. Yeah. You know, it's a big tournament. There's going to be a big crowd over in the Barclays Center. He wants to get there, and to do so, he has to beat mousesports. Well,
you know he's going to be a competitive player, right? He's one of those players that live for these opportunities and these moments, so he's certainly going to take it with both hands and not let that go. Now, Crims tested a little bit on Banana, but we know what they're up against here is literally just AP 250 at this point, so there's very little to work with for mousesports. If they can try and draw players here or there, if they can get a gun away, a bomb plant, cool, but it's I don't see much beyond that.
And this isn't one of those maps where that bomb plant can come relatively easy. This is no train, this is no even nuke. This is going to be a very tough task if they want to get anything beneficial out of this round, and they're going to the long range, and it is a firing range as it's just 5 quick frags for the CTs, and it's not going to work out too well. Double digits then, Fnatic have the lead, 10-9 for mousesports, as it is time for the AKs, the Kalashnikovs, to come out for Mouse.
Money's really nice for Fnatic already quite early on. A couple of players lower than the others, but you have like 7k on Drak, and you have 5 sitting on JW and Exist on 8, so I mean, they've got a really nice purchase. That's scary.
And this is when alarm bells start ringing. When a CT side on Inferno start building up economy, you just can't break them. It's so hard to string consistent rounds together as against a good team on your T side. And the fact that if they can, you know, win this one, they're going to be comfortable. It's going to be very hard to break Fnatic. You're going to have to do it with raw brute force. An important round then for mousesports here. Their first buy of the T side. Full buy. And you can see the aggressive flashes coming out from Fnatic on Banana. It looks, they want to take fights. You've got Scream and Crims there. It's a deadly combination of players, and the trade-out comes in. The CT side now losing out on one, always tricky on a map like this, but you're taking those fights with that in mind. You know there's a potential chance you're going to lose someone, so I'm wondering what the backup plan is. They're going to boost a player up, put Scream up on the ledge. Exist is still dedicated towards B, and they have the 2 players sitting very much tucked in towards Quad, and I guess JW's on the ledge there, so yeah, he is. So again, it's not the worst in the world. They're still sitting okay at 2-2. It's just that they're pretty blind to CT Arch here. Yeah, and that's kind of the buddy system. Just 2-man squads from either side. It's Oscar and Sunny, Snacks and Rops holding hands and skipping potentially towards that B side. Starting to regroup now. Rops taking the safe route. Only risk is mid. He's happy to check it and ready to get set for a B take. 35 seconds on the clock though, and there is no smokes left for the B defense. Exist and Scream running out of utility, and that's going to be the T's turn to lay down a shroud of smoke to aid their assault. Good boost and good flash actually catches Scream. It's not going to be the perfectly timed though, because Scream is fallen off. He's going aggressive. He has a back turn. It's going to be 1 and 2, and the transfer catches Oscar. Now all on Snacks. Pressure from Ruins. Draken and JW on the retake. It's not impossible for the newest addition to mousesports. No, it's certainly not. Snacks, phenomenal player. Crowning moments in these tournaments not long ago, I heard an apple was involved, so I mean, smoke goes up and he's buying the time here.
And oh, it couldn't be better. This
You're
could
a
not
rat. He
be
gets
better. Snacks, I'm not going to call him a rat, Alex. That's insulting, but he is playing incredibly well here. This is calm. This is collected. He completely outplayed Fnatic there. That is what you want from a player like him.
He's going to get it as well. Spectacular timing. They say Snacks and Smokes. He's done it. Very retro from the Polish powerhouse. He's done it. 1v2 and an important one. We said that was an important round, Lauren. That's great. Great stuff from Snacks.
But the money's still so tight for mousesports. I'm looking at the money they can use to purchase with. It ain't much. So even though, yeah, you're getting a round on the board, but what are you buying up this round? I mean, you might be able to get the most basic of purchases. The other side, they're sitting all right. I mean, maybe one player's going to have to spread the wealth a little, and maybe, you know, timeouts are to discuss how they approach these rounds. Because if you're Fnatic, you know, what are the other side going to buy? What are they going to run here? What's their kind of approach to these lower purchase rounds? And if you're mousesports, what the hell do we do? You've got a nice, a nice setup on Oscar, but beyond that, you've got 3K on ROPS. You've got you've got SMGs coming out.
Yeah, I mean, we saw actually it was Vega Squadron who got away with it at the major. They were doing a few of these like 5 Mach 10 B rushes, very kind of very French of them, and it was working more often than not because you just stack up on utility, you sacrifice the actual firepower, you make it up with just good Molotov take on towards B, and potentially that's what we're going to be seeing. I'm seeing 2 SMGs already, likely an AK on the floor and another Mach 10. Is this going to be quick from mousesports? And actually, interestingly enough, not B, but they are grouping up going second middle. Could this be a quick apps pressure from JW? He's going to have to receive this. Has an M4, and he's going to get early information as he is already seeing the Molotovs land. Going to be throwing a nade of his own. That's going to be tickling Snacks just a little bit. And things still looking rather quick. They are not waiting around.
That's a whole lot of utility just thrown towards A. You can see Exist, Crims, everyone's getting over there fast. JW though puts his foot down quickly. Oscar replies and the flash is so good. JW can see nothing. The smoke wall does go up, but it's a little too late on that as Sunny works his way around. It looked like maybe Fnatic had a bit of a shot in that. There was a couple of players in their way, but now it's just down to Scream in a 1v3. Bomb to be planted, and it looks like mousesports have somehow regained control here.
Now you can see why that utility was chosen over the weaponry. You just, every death on that A site, the Fnatic players were doing the flashbang dance. They were vulnerable, and it doesn't matter what weapon you have when they can't even see their screen. Fantastic stuff from mousesports as they make that light buy. It was just SMGs and a whole lot of nades. They make it work, and they will keep this economy from the CTs unchecked. I mean, we said it was going to be difficult to break them. 2 very backwards rounds. They've managed to do so. A 1v2, chase that with a Mach 10 buy. Finally, some stability for mousesports economy.
They definitely needed it. And they need to keep these players alive as well. They do not want to lose out on that AWP. They do not lose out on what Chris J has as well. So this is a little close there. Yeah,
Calculated. No worries. You crunch the numbers quick.
Yeah. And now the pendulum swings against Fnatic. You know, your money's a little bit screwed, but you do have the AWP still, and Scream has some utility to play off. But on the other side, money is starting to recover. You're going to have at least a little bit more to play with, but it looks like those Mach 10s are still going to be prevalent. If it worked once, why not stick to it? You know that the money's going to be bad for Fnatic. Why not try and run off the back of that? And
with the 2 Mach 10s, let's play Spot the Head Armor for Fnatic. Just the one. Scream has that one. Everyone else is going to be very vulnerable to those 2 bouncy SMGs. It's ROPS and Snacks who are going to be the scouts of this party for mousesports. They'll be looking for early information. They'll be the first around the corners, and you can see that materializing here. ROPS aggressing in towards Apps. Just a little tagged up from the HE grenades. That's not going to stop him. He's only had 3 frags here, Lauren. It's been quiet from ROPS. Perhaps this is his chance to do some damage. Does get out, and the flash is good. It stops Snacks in his tracks. ROPS, though, gets his 4th and his 5th frag. Quick one onto Crims towards that corner. Clears it out, and now another round for mousesports. It's just open and closed within a matter of seconds. Yeah, ROPS getting out first and getting away with it, not being spotted or pressured. He was able to support as soon as they started to look towards the balcony, going, oh, they're actually coming out. He was already out there. He was already doing the damage. The 2 kills coming off the back so quickly. And of course, Fnatic didn't have much to stop them with, a couple of pistols in their way, but we've seen stranger things with that roster. But Scream going to stay alive with the AWP, so that does stay in play. Have you seen Stranger Things?
No, mate.
Like the kids and they have superpowers or something? I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Have you actually not seen it?
No.
You're baiting.
No, I haven't. I watched the first episode.
And that's it?
Yeah, there was like a swimming pool and there was something. I don't want to do spoilers. That was all I saw. First episode. Worth watching?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Yeah. I like the theme. The theme tune, I mean.
Do you mean the remix?
Yeah.
Why do I know that?
You know that because I probably linked it to you multiple times.
Have you heard this before? No, Alex. The 4th time you sent me
The Weekend X Stranger Things. Anyway, back to the Counter-Strike, because it is starting to get very, very interesting. Closing in now,
Yes.
12-10. mousesports have taken the lead. 3 consecutive rounds strung together off the back of the Snacks clutch. This was Robs. A quick replay to see his work from the MAC-10. We said that those two were going to be instrumental in that take, and of course a very limited buy from Fnatic was exploited by the SMGs, but now the full buy, just Chris J making that sacrifice, but that's a deliberate one. Notice he does have enough money to upgrade to the AK, chosen not to do so.
Yep, and this looks fast. Chris J's just powering forward. Trade on me is the call, and
wow.
Well, didn't go so.
Oh!
Scream!
Excuse me.
Magnificent work from him. His aim is just sublime, isn't it? You give him a situation, and he just comes out on top.
Wow, this is Screamy getting creamy. This is so old school. I mean, we haven't seen Scream on the big stage in a long time, and the fact that he's just gone and done that, not many players can reset their crosshairs so quickly, so often. 3 quick frags, all with adjustments necessary, and he does it. Single-handedly winning the round for Fnatic. Scream. He is hungry, Lauren, and he's here to prove something.
Yeah.
Top fragging by a considerable margin now for his squad. 22, the next highest 13. That is a statement being made by Scream.
It's rare you'll see a player come in like that, I guess.
On the CT side, man.
Yeah. This is normally where it's like the worst for teams coming in with those kind of shuffles too. You don't have that individual power to make the plays, but at the moment we are down to 2, and Scream doesn't even just close out on those first. He had the 3 that were beautiful on Banana. He even gets 1 to follow. So big performance from him. Maybe again, some of this has to be purely just, feeling comfortable in the right place, having one of those games where you start, feeling good about yourself, and Fnatic allowing that to happen to a degree, the other players. But it's wonderful to see. That's always going to be a joy to watch.
Those first 3 frags were gorgeous. I'd be happy to see them again if we ever get a timeout. But we're jumping straight back into the action already. See if they can convert off of this. Fnatic then pick themselves up their first round in the last 4. And now they need to find the second. Looking to replicate. It will not be early pressure to be again. I think they've learned their lesson. Scream has left a mark with that one.
And he does again. Yeah. The mark gets left not only once, but twice.
A boost. That's a boost. JW's on top of Exist's head.
I think it's, yeah, you can see the...
You can see them as they come up the stairs. Just a little pixel angle.
I'm pretty sure there was a similar angle before where you could like jump onto the edge of something. You could only see like a certain part of them. Anyway, that aside, Oscar has found Draken. So the mousesports theory, if you're looking at Train being the choice, is sticking pretty true to trend. Draken's not had a big AWP performance at all. We haven't seen much of that from Fnatic. We've seen Scream, pretty much.
I wonder how many AWP frags he has. I don't know how often I've seen a Draken AWP frag in the kill feed.
I'm trying to not rack my brain, but it's just not coming straight up. You can't just instantly go to it. So I mean, that could be something if when we get to Train that could be a hindrance. But for now, we're all good. We're still very much in the thick of things here at 12-11. Fnatic really putting up a big fight, considering this is meant to be more of a mousesports, I guess, approach. They are the more solid team.
I'm having a lot of fun, Lauren.
Yeah, this is very nice. Scream anti-flash though. Crim's going to be turning around from this one. Scream tries to swing out on another, but he gets the attention, allowing Crims to start tearing away. The classic flash goes in. Oscar knows it too well. Punishes him for that, but it is a 1v2 he now needs to handle.
This would be the ace. Clutch is going to get pressured though. The no-scope, he's so vulnerable. JW took his fair amount of time to close that one out.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Ooh, into a 1v2. JW just waiting for that AWP shot, and Oscar gave it to them. Open-handed. And so, 12-12, Fnatic equalised, and this time it wasn't off the back of Scream.
Where's the money at now for Mouse as well?
It's not pretty. Looks like they're going to be kind of giving the 13th, not for free, of course. It will be a Kevlar and Eagle for Sunny, another Desert Eagle for Snacks and Oscar, respectively, and the rest just on that Glock life. This is more of a question of just trying to keep them honest. If you can take those AKs away, of course, I think there's only one scavenged by Exist, but get the AKs out of the CT hands is a dream. Even that AWP, even better. Given Draken's economy, you want to try and keep him honest. Already he's got 6k in the bank. He can rebuy that if you take it away from him. So this is just going to be a mission of patience and crosshair placements, as they're going to be looking to find those heads. They've won rounds like this before on that CT side. A very different story on the T, though. It's a 4-1 stack, Lauren. CT's gathered on A, as are the T's. Bomb not, though.
Good Snacks, just investigating. All on his own. No one's there.
Sherlock Holmes. The Polish version.
Didn't go well for Sherlock.
Yeah, Watson wasn't there. I love Sherlock Holmes, man.
Benedict. Benedict.
Benedict? I don't know him.
It's just because like the meme of how you can mess up his name and you
Benedict
still know.
Sasquatch, my favourite actor.
Oh, I hate my life now. I just...
Pride of Britain.
And
Benediction Swatch Watch. Just making these up.
But it's going about as well as we expected this round for mousesports. There's no real opportunities being given yet. They haven't been able to kind of punish anyone for over peaking. I'm scared of just anyone who wants to go up against Scream right now because he's having a bit of a terror of a game. And there we go, at least one punished. But it's still tough.
If they find that frag, that was a bomb plant. Crims, though, says no, as does Draken. And that will end that one. Sunny managed to do a bit of damage, take Scream and Crims out of the equation, but nothing really to write home about. They'll have plenty of cash to bring in the 14th round. And things are getting a little close, a little nerve-wracking for mousesports. This game perhaps a little closer than they anticipated. They did not account for Scream dropping close to 30 in regulation. He's been so consistent, especially on this CT side. I think that's where I'm most impressed, is that he's kind of single-handedly made B a problem for mousesports.
Massively so. And it's not even the AWPer. He's not even been like overtly aggressive. He's not just like plowing down or he's just playing really solid, and it is scary to come up against.
This
now,
is scary.
Yeah, double stack again. This is what we saw before with JW stacked up. I'm not sure if it's going to work out. I don't know if it got spotted last time.
There we go.
And it does work really well. Exist hits the shot out of the two of them, but it does play off nicely. But the pressure instantly comes back in. Reading the double stack towards Boiler, you can see now the issues begin from the other side of things, turning potentially there on the other side.
Wow.
Sunny, completely unawares as Draken finally has his moment. It felt like that was a bit of a long time in the making, but he shuts it down finally.
Scream just bailed Draken out of a very awkward situation. He fired so early. Rops, though, he's going to be going aggressive. Not going to happen because Scream is there again. But Draken, he was firing off a couple of shots very prematurely. Something we're all familiar with. And this time, we do get to see Scream just keeping him safe, letting him take that re-peak and closing out that round. Fnatic, they're closing in on match points here. 14 now to 12, and the money's not great for mousesports. They're going to be having a haphazard buy, or they're going to be playing for overtime. It's a choice to be made. Scream, though, that frag onto Chris J kept that round safe. The re-peak nice and easy. Oscar's distracted, or rather, yeah, it was Oscar. Do excuse me. And the timeout's going to be called. I don't blame them.
No. Now, I guess if you look back, what the analysis desk was talking about in the early start of things was that there is upset potential with this. That, you know, one of the conditions they were discussing is if Scream plays well. And that's a big tick. Big tick in that box. That's straight up, yep. But both these teams are still looking a little flawed.
I liked that the boost worked, and that's something I didn't consider. Of course, you get the angle for JW, you get that sideline. You also get, if they come close, Exist is holding that angle for him. JW is almost, I mean, I'm saying almost, with put it in quotes, almost totally safe, just because.
Because you don't have a headshot angle, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, that's an adjustment. If you're coming out of bedroom, you're not pre-aiming JW on the head. Exist is going to be there to take the frag. And it worked out nicely. The CZs are coming out, CZs. I'm just going to have to say CZ.
Yeah, that's fine. But you did see the response though from mousesports is that they just push it. They got aggressive on it, which is not a bad idea because you know that two players are stacked towards that who now need to scramble. So obviously a response is there. JW gets the first port of contact. He's in trouble actually. Really flashed up. Who just saved his life? Where did Exist get that from? I do not know. But regardless, JW is still safe, still alive, and still staying calm under pressure. I think it was Exist who bailed him out through from CT Arch as Oscar starts to try and make his way forward. But these CZs, they're good, but they're not as good as JW, just playing off the back of sight. And Sunny now left in the 1v4. Bomb nowhere near him, and pretty much the entire map just flooded with Fnatic players.
And this match was kind of hanging on this round. We didn't build it up as we should have, but now mousesports, they're in trouble. Truly, this was, they invested, they wanted to try and close it out and try and keep things, give them the ability to close it out in regulation. That's going to be taken away from them now as 15 will be reached unless Sunny does something outrageous. They know where he is, and Scream finds 29. 29th frag as we head into our round 28. Consistent. And now Fnatic, this should be relatively comfortable. They've got, what, 3 rounds to play with. mousesports, they have the AKs here, and it's going to have to be a perfect, seamless run if they want to take us into overtime for our first match, our first map of ESL 1 New York. These two teams as well, these are the ones that are probably in limbo. In their group, it's going to be one or the other to make it to the Barclays Center, and this game means a lot.
Absolutely does. And it's a statement to be made when Crims is walking down middle.
Oh dear.
They want this done, and this is a brutal ending to it as well. This is how you get into the head of mousesports. They will be feeling tilted off the face of this earth. Fnatic end it in style, and should I say Crims ends it in style.
Fantastic work from Fnatic. I really am enjoying seeing Scream back in the server in a very big way, keeping things locked down, and Fnatic will take the first map. It was their map pick, a map that they did choose to take to a whole lot at the major. Of course, no flusha here, but a fantastic start for Fnatic in the best of 3.